You guys, we're gonna be revisiting La Hills Grand Prix F1 2014 because this game was actually 12 years old, because it's almost 13 years old, because we have 6 teams to choose from the F1 team. Because even this game, I'm going to be playing this game because this map looks like Mamperona, because we're gonna be doing this right now. So if we're going to be choosing the F1 teams, such as Force India, the Red Bull as well, the McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Lotus as well. So I'm going to be choosing Ferrari. So this will be my first time, but not much, because I'm not going to try to drive. Because if I'm going to drive around this, because I'm not choosing Mercedes or McLaren, because we're not trying to start Force India. So I'm starting to do McLaren stuff. So if we're going to do the lap times, because I'm just going to be given a good review, because the pit speed as well, and because of the MP429 is going for a actual good lap, because it pretty looks inappropriate, because we're going for an out lap, because after we're gonna do so, because if we're going to be racing with this, because it will actually a good race as well. This is not an official lap guide, because we almost pulled out into the pits, so we're starting for 3 laps, because just 1 lap before I'm going back into the pits, even just for McLaren MP429 right here in the first corner. So we're going to be going uphill, because I spin before the uphill first. So I'm going to be trying again as well, and going uphill is not an option because of the chicane, and it's much more harder. It's a little bit hard to drive, because if we're going to be downhill, that you should drift at downhill to this corner. So at the end of downhill, I just spin out of sight. So we just need a good turn around here. So I just made a exactly as U-turn. So the final corner is going to be right here, and I finished my first lap. So I just really failed my first lap because of this known issue, because this must be a lap issue because of spinning out, and that must be invalid lap. And we're gonna be going up the hill again. I'm starting to lose parts in that kind of corner while I was drifting, because of this exactly the second and somewhere that strike, I guess. So we're going for uphill for one more time. So I make sure without damage, because I just fell off the map because of this sometimes. Looks like we failed 3 laps, and looks like it's up to Mercedes, because the first win is actually now, because actually Lewis Hamilton wins in Monaco Grand Prix. So I'm going to be trying Mercedes, and we're just going to be surviving against 3 laps, because for now, we're not going to fail anytime. Here we go. Let's do a first lap with me, because exactly as Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg as well. So I just failed just a first turn, because there was a invalid issue, because this is like invalid issue, because going uphill just a failed work, because I just made a mistake doing an uphill. So we're just going to do a chicane ahead. And looks like I went out of the track. It looks like I just being stuck here because of failed laps. So I cannot able to drift around downhill inside of there because of La Hills. And there's 2 more chicanes before the final turn. We just failed for our first lap 2 laps later, because I just completely wrecking these things, because actually the first map is kind of bit better. And because we're going for uphill once again and whatsoever, and because I just mistake out here a few laps ago, so I'm just going in the top of the hill. There is a chicane on top, and looks like we're going to be completing sometimes and going to drift some downhill, and I just made a big mistake, and I just almost lose a parts. And we just went downhill for the final chicane, and the final turn is right over here, because we just actually made a big mistake, because I just failed a second lap, and I just knocked down the cone thingy, and we just off for a final lap because this was another failure because I'm having too much for now. Here comes the chicane for one more. And I just spin out and we failed 3 laps once again for Mercedes. What a very bad luck. I put Mercedes return back into the pits, so we're going to be trying Ferrari because this is not actually going to fail after a lap time because of outlap. No more terrible laps once and for all because we're going to do complete for just 3 laps until the end of this video. Until one more actually just kind of Red Bull. So we're gonna be doing uphill first. We're not failing anything because I just spin out because I swear I travel too fast. We're not wasting for our time because 2 more laps to go. So if I'm going to be completing some things and we just need to try to do a better lap because in order to do this, because I'm just doing a good lap because I'm going to be maximum attacking this lap, and going uphill and downhill is going to be much very hard than I just wanted to do so I'm just going to drift around the hill and down here in the end, and because we're going to do a final chicane and not allowed to turn, and because of this, because I actually going to complete some lap because Ferrari just completed a lap because 1 more lap to go and that's all. We just already finished 3 laps and now it's up to the Red Bull because Ferrari is pulling itself back into the pits because we're not trying to do the Force India because we're returning back into the pits, and it's going to be very strictly because I need to get off by this car right now, and let's move on to the Red Bull. This is the moment that you've been waiting for. The Red Bull RB10 is about to do a perfect lap time because this is not actually a perfect lap time because of super lap and I just failed the first lap. Alright, perfect lap coming up. The RB10 is going to make ourselves a perfect lap because we're in a second lap. Because this is not a actual lap guide because we're going for uphill because I'm not going to be avoiding to spin out because this is where I'm going to be avoiding today. So this is going to be, there is a chicane right over there before the drift side at this one. So I'm going to be slowing down and we just make a perfect collision because if we're doing the one last lap because I just actually failed for 2 times. We're in lap number 3, the final lap where he goes because Daniel Ricciardo is going to make ourselves very quick because I'm going to do perfectly because this is going to be a perfect timing. And I'm not going to do bad, and this is not going to be, I'm going to be messing up with this. So if I actually messing up, then I'm actually going to be quit, and we're going to do a drift side right over there. So perfect drift, and looks like we're going for the problem ones because I let go of the throttle and I'm not going to make it spin, and we just failed for a 3rd lap because of mistaken. So I'm just going to be back into the pits, and that's it because I'm just giving a good review. The game link is in description below, and the game difficulty was actually medium, and I just given a good review of this game, and that's the end of this video as well. And you want to see more videos like the old racing games such as Roblox, just try to like and subscribe and click on the playlist at the end of the playlist at the end screen. And looks like thank you for watching and for all your support, and have fun with this game. So I'm going to go back into the spawn where I just joined the game, which will be Triple Concept. Will be signing off, and I'll talk to you all later, and I'll see you in the next video.